Hello everyone. A warm welcome to our live session today. I am Sumit from SBI Youth for India team. Thanks for spending your Friday evening with us. We did a live session on 8th of April and we are here yet again to share stories of the SBI Youth for India fellowship. For those who are new here, SBI Youth for India is a 13-month fellowship where young people work at the grassroots along with well-experienced NGOs. With over 640 alumni, our work has reached over 250 villages, touching more than 1.5 lakh lives. Our fellows work in 13 thematic areas like education, healthcare, livelihoods, and more. Let me introduce the speakers. Our first speaker is Anubhav Joshi. Anubhav Joshi he led Udaipur Urja Initiatives, a farmer owned social enterprise in Rajasthan, promoting clean tech and ethical agriculture. Anubhav focuses on market based solution for low income communities, women led models, and pro poor carbon initiatives. Anubhav is a alumni of 2015-16 batch, and he's worked in the Udaipur with our NGO. Our next alumni is Uzda. Uzda currently works with UNRWA's Office of the Ombudsman and analyzes internal conflict across field offices in the Middle East and lead outreach to enhance access to grievance mechanisms. In parallel, she works at University of Manchester, advancing higher education policy to widen participation of underrepresented students. Her work combines data-driven insights, skills development, and institutional change to support equitable outcomes in both humanitarian and academic settings. Our third uh, guest today is Sherin Cheki. She is a current fellow of the SBI Youth for India Fellowship with a background in life sciences from Sherupse College in Bhutan. Passionate about grassroots innovation, she leads Clean Konipur, a waste management initiative promoting sustainability and awareness. Her scientific training, coupled with international exposure, fuels her commitment to research driven, community led change. Sharing aims to bridge science and development for meaningful, lasting impact. A warm welcome to all of you. Um, Thank you for being here with us.
Happy to
So,
be here.
hello everyone. Can you unmute yourself?
Yep.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
So, I'll start with Uzda first. Uzda, I'll just get into the questions
Yep.
right away so that the people can understand what the fellowship is about. So, coming from Jammu and Kashmir and working at the grassroots in Assam, what challenges did you face adapting to a new region, and what were the skills that helped you navigate those challenges? And also, how did the community made you feel accepted and comfortable while working at the grassroots?
Um, I shifted from one corner of the country to completely another corner of the country. And the biggest um, hurdle, I'd say, was the cultural shock and the language barrier initially, not throughout the fellowship. I mean, I come from a completely different culture, and I was in a completely different culture back then. I mean, as simple as just for example, I have my hair short. My hair was shorter back then, and the rural setting I was in, people considered me to be a widow because I have my hair short. So, as small as those cultural differences to the normal, maybe the food habits of how the social norms or the cultural norms are in the society, and the language barrier initially, because I had no idea about Assamese, but that was something I picked up throughout the fellowship. It was all the help from the YFI team and the NGO. So the NGO doesn't leave you alone in the field. They give you a proper good tour for idea of the projects and the area for nearly about a month so that you understand what's going on, how the dynamics are in the society. in the village essentially. And you would be having a field coordinator with who would be your main point of contact when you are in the field. And the community in sense was very reciprocative and accepting of the fact that I am there, and they did realize that I do not have the same cultural background and understanding the language barrier. So we used to communicate initially in broken Hindi. After that, I was able to pick up the language, and it's not as difficult as it might seem for an incoming YFI fellow. I'm pretty sure you get used to it throughout the fellowship, and it's not just my experience. It's, I would say, all the fellows shared the same experience. And the NGO I was with, it was first time the NGO had partnered up with YFI, so there were some initial processes that the NGO didn't know, and we as the first time fellows also didn't know. So the YFI team was really helpful in terms of letting the NGO know what is expected of the fellow and how the fellow will be working with the NGO, and that the fellows can have their own project, not necessarily work on the projects the NGO has. So overall, I mean, that's how I'd say it goes, and I still am happy about it. If that answers.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing all the insights.
No worries.
I'll get on to Anubhav now. Anubhav, you are from Meghalaya, Shillong, and you did your fellowship in Rajasthan. And post fellowship, you worked with the NGO, partner NGO, and you led the Urja project as the CEO there. And now you are in UK, so you have quite a journey of you. So, looking back, how did your fellowship experiences shape your personal and professional growth? And what was it like coming from Meghalaya to Rajasthan and then working there? So, if you can answer these questions.
Yeah, no, thanks, Sumit. I think the question itself kind of brings back, some nostalgic memories as well as, yeah, things about the fellowship that you kind of miss after it gets over. Uh, I think, yeah, getting to the question, I think the first part, which is how it kind of shaped uh, like my personal growth. Uh, I think essentially I would like to start with what Ujda also said, that the fellowship sort of puts you in a place where you're not accustomed to. So I grew up in Shillong, and coming from the northeastern part of the country, I was during the fellowship time I was working with Seva Mandir, which is in Udaipur in Rajasthan, so which is like diametrically opposite ends of India, right? So a lot of differences in terms of the culture, the food habits, the weather. I mean, I come from one of the rainiest places on earth, and here I was, which is like the closest place to the Thar Desert. So many things changed, right? So I think when such a big change happens, there's definitely learning associated with that change. Learning and I think that kind of links to what the personal side of learning is from the fellowship is. uh, I think the fellowship genuinely helps you understand what you're kind of interested in. uh, for me, the year that I joined the fellowship, it was 2015. I just finished my mechanical engineering at Tejpur University in Assam, and I was thinking that what I should do with life. I mean, what are the avenues that I can take up, uh, and with these questions in mind, I applied for the fellowship because I didn't have a definite answer. So yes, I think it definitely helps you understand what drives you, what you want to do as work, for a considerable amount of time in the future. Uh, Apart from that, uh, in terms of personal growth, the fellowship also teaches you um, a lot of skills which you may not think about learning them maybe if you're not in a fellowship type of setting, like for example learning how to cook your own food, or like trying to live alone, or trying to live in a setting which may not provide you the same comforts of the house you were in. So you you try, you understand how to adapt, things like that. But then at the same time, you also kind of gain this very valuable skill of building social cohesion or community building. For example, you become friends with people in the village, with community members that probably you're meeting for the first time in life, but within 1 or 2 months you become very close friends with some of them. The NGO staff, they become your family there. um, and even the other YFI fellows, who again bring a lot of diversity, because all the YFI fellows in a particular NGO would be from different parts of the country, and now even from different parts of not only India but Bhutan, Nepal, etc. So it kind of gives you that, that setting which you wouldn't have expected anywhere else, a heterogeneous setting, so as to say. So definitely all of these things kind of adds up to this personal learning, wherein you not only learn basic skills about life, but it also helps you understand like what you want to work for, what you want to do in the future. It gives you some sort of problem solving, sort of thought process. Professionally, I think, again, linking back to that, in the fellowship you learn like few skills which are very important in professional career, and especially in today's like fast paced world. One is, thinking on your feet, problem solving, seeing opportunities where there are challenges. And I think the final one I would like to say is being patient. The fellowship teaches you that you work for 13 months, and at the end of it you might have nothing to show, and that's completely fine, because change requires time. So um, and that 13 months you've spent there is in itself a learning. You might not have like, you might have thought, oh, I'll do this impact, but you see that only like 10% of the impact you have thought happened. But then it teaches you that element of patience, that you have to keep doing what you are doing, um, and something good will happen out of it. So yeah, I think it helps you learn how to build foundations that are long lasting. Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
I
Thank
think.
you for
Oh, yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you for sharing this, and I think it is very important learning that you might be there in the field for 13 months and thinking, okay, I can bring about the change, and what you're thinking and what is translating, it's only a fraction of it, and then it teaches you patience, like you said, and also teaches you how can you think in long terms, and how can you make a long lasting impact in the field, in the community. Thank you so much, Anubhav, for sharing that.
Thank you.
Jackie, uh, now my question to you is that as someone from Bhutan, how has your cross cultural experience been in rural India, and what were the surprises and challenges that you faced in the field, most of it, and also how was your how does your family now takes your learnings from the ground, and how do they feel about it, and what is it like, if you can share your thoughts.
Uh, Thank you. So as for like I'm coming, India and Bhutan have somewhat similar settings and all. Like I also come from rural area, so I was kind of expecting this, but then again, this was beyond my expectation. Like this, rural India has, like, it is so vast, and it's that it is so rural that I don't know what the rural area definition would be now. So I'm still learning about how I can cope up here, how to go about here. And as for the challenges and all, the language is one thing that's hard. But then again, I'm trying to learn and also trying to um s- uh, go with the children, and because like the children knows Hindi, so their language here is Odia. So right now, like I'm engaging with children, and they are also helping me with translation and all. So I'm also learning Odia with them. Then for my parents, they are now appreciating me being here. They are saying if I like it, then they have all the support. Before, like they were still doubtful about how I will be able to adapt here and all. Now they're supporting me being here. And
Yes.
yeah, I think that's all for the question.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that, Chiki. And I guess this is very important lesson when you think of you have an idea of what rural is, and when you go to
Yeah.
the field, it's very different, and you learn those things, and you have some experiences from the field that you then take on, and then you make yourself understand, okay, that there will be changes in what you're thinking and what the reality is. But I
Yes.
think this is what the fellowship is about, that bringing you more closer to the reality, and also so that you can while you are thinking of a project, while you are thinking of a solution, you keep in mind the realities from the ground, and the community at the center of your thoughts. Thank you for sharing those things, Jackie. I have a common question to all of you. We'll see who takes it first. Anubhav and Uzda, so you have done your fellowship, and it's been some time now. So for you, my question is, how do the fellowship still shapes your life, everyday life, in whatever you are doing in your projects, in your personal life? So how does it continue to shape your life? If you can take that, Uzda, to you.
Okay. So after the fellowship, it was so I come from a chemical engineering background. और जब मैंने पहले fellowship की थी, दिमाग में बहुत ज़्यादा था I will work on something जो मेरे field के related है. And then जब आप field में जाते हैं, आपको वहाँ जाके समझ में आता है कि ज़रूरी नहीं है आप जो idea लेके वहाँ पे जाएं, आप वही करेंगे. ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होता है कि वहाँ जो लोग होते हैं उनकी ज़रूरत क्या होती है. तो उस हिसाब से मेरा project बदला and I shifted from रिसोर्स एनर्जी टू एजुकेशन. और फिर उसमें सीखने बहुत कुछ मिला. आई थिंक सबसे बड़ा आई वुड से वाज पेशेंस एंड ह्यूमिलिटी. यू गेट टू नो कि लोग दे सर्वाइव ऑन बेयर मिनिमम और स्टिल जब जो हम कहते हैं उनके दिल इतने बड़े हैं एंड दे आर सो वेलकमिंग. यू गेट टू लर्न अ लॉट फ्रॉम दैट. बच्चों से बात करना, यू सी कम्युनिटी डेवलपमेंट एंड यू आई थिंक there gets you develop a humility within you. एज अनुभव ऑल्सो सेड, वो पेशेंस भी आता है. आपको सोचना पड़ता है अगर आपका प्रोजेक्ट काम नहीं कर रहा है, यू हैव टू बी ऑन योर फीट कि आगे क्या होगा, इसको इम्प्रोवाइज कैसे करना है. आई लर्न अ लॉट ऑन दैट. मैं जैसे कि आई वॉज वर्किंग विद चिल्ड्रन, सो एजुकेशन था मोर और लेस, बट इट वॉज इंक्लूसिव ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स इन इट. सो आई थिंक जब मैंने फेलोशिप की उसके बाद अंदाजा हुआ कि ये चीज़ है जो मैं करना चाहती हूँ, अनलाइक टू माई एकेडमिक डिग्री. And then after gaining some work experience, I finally chose to stay in this. और फिर मैंने ये भी सोचा कि अगर और ज़्यादा काम करना है तो it might be better कि अगर मैं एक मास्टर्स भी करूँ. So I took development sector as my masters. And it's still जो वहाँ की learnings हैं, even if I'm working internationally, when I give my interviews, और जितने भी आज तक interviews मैंने दिए हैं, everyone is specifically interested in asking how was your rural India experience. And जिनके पास मैंने इंटरव्यू दिया है, they are from Jordan, UK, US, all those places. But that lived experience जो आपका होता है, it matters a lot. क्योंकि there comes a, what do you say, authenticity जब आपका एक experience होता है और आप उसको अपने नज़रिए से बताते हैं, and it's lived experience. So I'm still using my learnings, like if it's especially अगर वो community development sense में है, although if it's a bit different, but the learnings, the patience, the humility, वो हमेशा मेरे साथ रहेगा. And the interpersonal skills and the professional skills in term of वो आपका project development रहता है, आपको project scope development करना है, timeline planning करनी है, क्योंकि आपके पास 13 महीने होते हैं. 13 महीना is not a lot, लेकिन उस हिसाब से आपको अगर आप अपना प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हैं, वो बनाना है, दिखाना है, इम्प्लीमेंट करना है। सो दोज़ लर्निंग्स स्पेशली एज़ अ फ्रेशर, आपको कोई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं चाहिए होता है। तो it has mattered a lot and it still continues to shape me, yes, and I still am in touch with those people, the ones I worked with, and it will continue to shape my future journey. I mean, it might not be a very technical answer जो लोग जानना चाहते हैं, but it's something which is a lived experience. So I'm
Yes,
not
yes.
sure if that answers 100%. I just try to answer it as I
Yes,
experienced it.
and that's what we want, to know real feelings, that what you go through during the fellowship, so that the people who are applying and who are thinking to apply, they get a better and very real stories from the ground, from your lived experiences. Over to you, Anubhav. So how does the fellowship continues to shape your life even today?
आई थिंक मतलब फेलोशिप खत्म होने के बाद भी for me I kind of continued what I had started. जो फेलोशिप में हमने एक लाइक क्लीन कुकिंग प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट किया था, वी काइंड ऑफ कंटिन्यूड दैट और उसको हमने आगे बढ़ाया एक कंपनी में। फिर हमने उस चूल्हे के काम से we went into different aspects of clean technology like solar lights. We went into agriculture, um, and at one point of time the company became मतलब बहुत बड़ा हो गया, wherein we had almost 250 people working with us, directly employed by Udaipur Urja Initiatives. And Udaipur Urja Initiatives was a company jo was owned by the farmers. The shareholding was farmers. Uh, so I think that was one of my first lessons in how, मतलब generally हम जब सुनते हैं या देखते हैं कि business से तो कुछ भला नहीं हो सकता है, it's business is always seen as very extractive, मतलब पूरा पैसा उनसे ले लेंगे, प्रॉफिट नहीं देंगे, या दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ एक एक बिजनेस का एक एसेंस रहता है। बट एंड मैंने बुक्स भी पढ़ा था एक्चुअली जब फेलोशिप ज्वाइन करने से पहले। आप लोग ने सुना होगा मोहम्मद यूनिस सोशल बिजनेस के बारे में बहुत लिखते थे एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट। तो वो बुक्स में पढ़ने में एक अलग ही पता चलता है कि हाँ सोशल बिजनेस ये होता है, बट वो जब तक आप वो प्रैक्टिकली करते नहीं हैं एंड यू डोंट इम्प्लीमेंट दैट इन द ग्राउंड, यू विल नॉट नो व्हाट इट एक्चुअली मीन्स। तो जब वो सोशल बिजनेस को हमने प्रैक्टिकली ग्राउंड में इम्प्लीमेंट किया, एक कंपनी बनाया जिसमें मैं ओनर नहीं था, ऑफ कोर्स आई वाज द एक मैं सीईओ बन गया था, बट आई डिडंट हैव इवन 1% शेयर, इट वाज कंप्लीटली फार्मर ओन्ड। एंड फार्मर ओनरशिप भी 18,500 फार्मर्स इनिशियली, फिर वो इंक्रीज हुआ। तो एक बहुत बड़ा लर्निंग मिला कि यू नो जो चीजें किताबें में लिखी रहती है वो किया जा सकता है। It's tough, but it can be done. And while you're doing it, there are a lot of problems that can come. Um, but you can do it. So it's not like वो एक मुहावरा है या एक कहावत है, ये सब तो किताबें बाती है, लाइक किताबें की बात है। यू कांट दिस इज जस्ट फॉर हियरसे पर्पस ना, बट एक्चुअली यू कैन डू थिंग्स, यू इफ यू वांट यू कैन डू थिंग्स। हमने वो एक मुहिम कोशिश की, वो अभी भी वो कंपनी चल रहा है। ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं आई वॉज देयर फॉर 6-7 years, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं निकलने के बाद वो एकदम बिखर गया या कुछ। बहुत सारे लोग, बहुत सारे फेलोज ने उस कंपनी में काम किया है। एक्चुअली आई थिंक प्रोबेबली 12 से 15 फेलोज उस कंपनी में किसी ना किसी तरीके से जुड़े हैं ओवर द इयर्स। सो एसबीआई के लिए भी एक वो था कि एक कांस्टेंट हमको अच्छे फेलोज का ग्रुप्स मिलता था। तो ठीक है, अभी तुम इस बार आए हो, तुम वाटर फिल्टर पे कुछ करना, तुम इस बार आए हो, तुम दाल पे कुछ करना। तो एक अच्छा सिस्टम भी बन गया था कि तो आई थिंक दैट लर्निंग, एंड उस लर्निंग को अभी मेरे करंट करियर में यूज करता हूँ, लाइक आफ्टर आई मूव्ड आउट फ्रॉम दैट। नाउ आई वर्क with a bigger firm, MSCI carbon markets, उनके indexes वगैरह वर्ल्ड फाइनेंशियल इंडेक्सेस को डिटरमिन करते हैं, तो there's a lot more so as to say visibility on the table ना, कि हम कोई कार्बन प्रोजेक्ट को कम रेट करेंगे या हाई रेट करेंगे. बट इसमें भी जब मैंने इंटरव्यू दिया था एंड एवरीथिंग, आई थिंक वो जो उजदा ने कहा कि जो व्यक्ति के पास ग्राउंड एक्सपीरियंस होता है ना, कि आपने ग्राउंड में ये किया है, ना कि आप, एक तो होता है कि आपका नॉलेज जो एक थियोरेटिकल नॉलेज होता है जो आप लेके आते हैं टेबल में, बट द अदर अनदर थिंग इज कि आपने ग्राउंड में क्या क्या है, आप जानते हो कि नहीं. एक तो आप बिकॉज जो ग्राउंड में काम करने का एक एक्सपीरियंस रहता है वो बहुत ही यूनिक होता है, एंड यू कांट माय एक्सपीरियंस वुड बी डिफरेंट than hers, than someone else's. So it's very unique. ना, तो वो genuinely ऐसे इंटरव्यूज में या फिर आप कहीं पे भी आप जॉब्स के लिए, करियर्स के लिए जा रहे हो, तो आप genuinely उसको निकाल के बाहर लेके आ सकते हो कि दिस इज व्हाट मेक्स मी यूनिक. तो वो आई थिंक डेफिनेटली हेल्प करता है, एंड ऑल्सो इट मेक्स यू थिंक ऑफ सॉल्यूशंस इन अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल वे, क्योंकि आपको वो फेलोशिप सिखाता है थोड़ा कि ना, मतलब वो इम्प्रैक्टिकल सोल्यूशन तो वो काम नहीं करेगा, और आपके पास सिर्फ 13 महीने हैं. तो यू हैव, व्हेनेवर यू डिजाइन समथिंग, यू हैव टू डिजाइन समथिंग व्हिच इज प्रैक्टिकल ना. तो करियर में भी यू फील लाइक कि ठीक है, वो प्रैक्टिकलिटी होना चाहिए, एंड दैट ठीक है, ये जो प्रोग्राम है, यू आप अपने दिमाग में सोचते हो कि मैं जो गांव में था वो सेटिंग में काम करेगा कि नहीं. सो यू गेट योर इवैल्यूएशन, जो मॉनिटरिंग एंड इवैल्यूएशन है ना, जो डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स करते हैं, वो आप इंस्टेंटली कर सकते हो, बिकॉज यू बीन सो लॉन्ग इन द फील्ड. सो ये सब चीजें आपको बहुत हेल्प करते हैं आगे जाके, इफ यू इन द सेम फील्ड, और इवन इफ यू इन डिफरेंट फील्ड्स लाइक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, और ये सब तो ऑब्वियसली काम में आते ही है. But so I think, yeah, in short, uh, you you move beyond what is theory and you go into the practical side of things, and then you see that things are doable, things are achievable, and you feel that it builds a sense of hope at the end of the day, ki, you're hopeful कि but better future हो सकता है, and एक impact हो सकता है type का. Yeah, I think that's the that's the main lesson, so as to say.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Anubhav. I think it's very important that the learnings from the fellowship, and very important hard skills also, that you mentioned, that you were able to get, be it project management, be it problem solving, be it uh, making the project according to the possible solutions in that time frame that you have. So I think it's very important for the audience also, because they'll also understand कि अच्छा, जब हम जाएंगे फील्ड में तो हमें किस तरह से क्या क्या स्किल्स हमारी ऐड होंगी, एंड हाउ कैन वी फर्दर आर development sector experience, and how can we get into the sector with a good 13 months of experience, and with skills that we can use. So I think that's very important. Thank you so much. Cheki, so I'll ask you a question, that because you are still on the field, still doing your fellowship. So in terms of skills and learnings, what sort of skills do you think that you are able to learn, and you are able to get during the fellowship, and what do you think that okay, this will help you in your further in your development sector career, and how do you think you can also get maximum out of it during the fellowship?
So yeah, like as Abhinav have mentioned, like it's one thing is surely the project management. So for the project management, like I've never done project like I've done related to my studies, but then this is my first time where budgeting and all thing comes under all of this. I have to do it by myself. So and another is research skills. I have to analyze socio-economic data and community insights, and also it is helping me now. I think like I will be able to do this more as I go with my fellowship. Then then also I have to engage many different stakeholders, which was I didn't have before, and now like I have developed a bit on this how to engage all the stakeholders, not leaving anyone behind. Then also in communication, actually like I'm not that like have that stage right where I cannot go in front of public and speak. So like this skills let have developed over time, and it's still developing, I guess, like as I'm here. So one and another thing is multilingual interaction. Although I do know Hindi a bit, like I cannot converse them in Hindi here, as I've mentioned before, also. So yeah, I think like the all those skills will be like I'll be getting more of these skills as I go by this fellowship.
Thank you so much, Cheki, for sharing that. And we have so many comments coming on both YouTube and Instagram. So many questions. So I'll take one by one. So when will I hear back on application status? So we are getting a lot of applications, and we are overwhelmed by the number of applications, and we are currently reviewing it, and you'll be hearing very soon on the status of your application. And what is the last date of application? Last date of application is 30th April. Um, Career after fellowship is a common question that I'm seeing here. So, any one of you who would like to take this question, Uzza, Anubhav. Um, what are the career options available after the fellowship? If you can take it, Uzza.
So there are a lot of career options, लेकिन उससे पहले मैं एक चीज क्लियर करना चाहती हूँ जिनका भी ये मिसकंसेप्शन है. YFI is not a bank job. कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि आपको बैंक में इसके बाद नौकरी मिलेगी. जिनका भी ये कंफ्यूजन है, उससे बेहतर है कि हम यहाँ पे ये क्लियर करें. ये डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर जॉब है. आपको जाके गांव में रहना है एंड उनके साथ काम करना है. This is what happens during the fellowship. After the fellowship, it's honestly up to you. आप उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ, अगर आप उस एनजीओ के साथ काम करना चाहते हैं जिसके साथ आप फेलोशिप के दौरान थे, आप उनके साथ अलग से काम कर सकते हैं. फेलोशिप 13 महीने की है, 13 महीने की ही रहेगी. उसके बाद अगर आपको कुछ एक्सटेंशन मिलता है वो एनजीओ की तरफ से होगा, वाईएफआई की तरफ से नहीं होगा. और आपके पास बाकी अपने पर्सनल करियर ऑप्शंस है. Clearing this out, it is again not a banking job. Please, जिनका भी assumption है, we are just making it very clear right now. और उसके बाद it's honestly like I chose to do a master's. अनुभव ने शायद 5 साल वहीं काम किया with the organization, I guess. So it really depends on you. कुछ लोग उसके बाद अपनी higher exam preparations करते हैं, कुछ लोग अलग से courses लेते हैं. So it is completely your choice. But there is one thing, अगर आप ये fellowship करते हैं, it just opens you a very broad domain of options available. Like I come from STEM. I used to be a STEM person. I'm not a STEM person anymore. So काफी दफा आपको पता चलेगा जब आप फील्ड में होंगे, जब आप फेलोशिप कर रहे होंगे कि आपको क्या करना है. वी कैन नॉट गारंटी यू a job or anything. It's just your experience that will help you choose later down the fellowship कि आप क्या करना चाहते हैं. If that makes sense, and I think we need to be as clear on this as possible.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Uzza. So there are questions coming on. So how does the Wi-Fi team help in regards of safety and precautions during the fellowship? Because you're living in a community with the community in rural settings. So for women, for young girls who are freshers just out of college, they have this question for their safety and precautions. What the SBI Wi-Fi team is taking for during the course of fellowship. So I think Uzda, yeah, you can answer this better because this is a question that most of the women
Yeah.
candidates have?
So in terms of you being safe in your project communication, initially आप जब आप जाते हैं अपने एनजीओ के साथ, आपको डायरेक्टली फील्ड में नहीं भेजा जाता। अराउंड 1 महीने के लिए थोड़ा ओरिएंटेशन रहता है। डिपेंड करता है एनजीओ टू एनजीओ। कुछ लोग 2 हफ्ते से 1 महीना इज ऑन एन एवरेज द टाइम पीरियड। और फिर ओनली एंड अंटिल यू चूज योर प्रोजेक्ट लोकेशन, दैट इज नॉर्मली हाउ इट हैपेंस कि आप देखते हैं कि एनजीओ के कहाँ किस जगह क्या प्रोजेक्ट जा रहे हैं एंड आप किस में कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं। और इफ देयर इज समथिंग जो आप करना चाहते हैं, यू आर फ्री टू क्रिएट योर ओन प्रोजेक्ट एज वेल। सो उस बेसिस पे आप अपनी लोकेशन देखेंगे और फिर you will let the NGO know, and NGO will be responsible for finding a location and an accommodation for you. However, you are supposed to pay for it खुद से, NGO will not be paying for it. And uska you will find all the details, I think, on the SBI website, how much the stipend is, and accommodation is not included in that if anyone has that query. आपको accommodation और अपने खाने पीने का खर्चा खुद उठाना होगा. It would be other than your salary, not included in that. And you will be safe in case you have any safety problems. आप अपने NGO को बताएं, और अगर NGO से आपका contact नहीं है, आप YFI team को बता सकते हैं, and they will make sure this is a guarantee that you will be safe. Agar if you feel unsafe at any point, they will take you out of the location, whatever the reason is. बाद में उस पे बात होगी, but the point then and the concern then is that will be solved immediately, especially speaking as a female YFI fellow.
Teki, you are in the field right now, so can you answer this question about the safety and security?
Yes, to add on her, like I right now I'm living in SU, the field community here. They NGO have their own SU, so usually like the first they give us the first preference. Then if our location is bit further and all, then they send us out. That too, like after they confirm that that place is safe. So I have another co-fellow. They are inside the school. They are living inside the school. So as for me and my other co-fellow, we are here in SU. So as for the safety, I think rural place is a safe place first in first place. Then if there's anything going on, then you can just contact to your anyone who you can reach out to, first contact person and all. Then they try to help us as much as they can, and by safety wise, it's safe, I'll say.
Okay. Um, so there are questions of how to prepare for interview. Project group में करना पड़ेगा या अकेले करना पड़ेगा? So Anubhav, do you want to take this question?
Yeah, sure, Sumit. I think बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है वो, प्रोजेक्ट ग्रुप में करे या अकेले करे, क्योंकि ग्रुप में करेंगे तो सिर्फ एक ही काम करेगा एनीवेज। तो देखिए यहाँ पे SBI is very clear and even the NGO would be very clear that प्रोजेक्ट आपका इंडिविजुअल होना चाहिए ना। ऑफ कोर्स ये हो सकता है कि आप एक ही गांव में मतलब मल्टीपल डिफरेंट टाइप के इंटरवेंशंस कर रहे होंगे, तो 2 फेलोज एक गांव में काम कर सकते हैं, बट विद डिफरेंट इंटरवेंशंस ना, तो वो एक पॉसिबिलिटी है। एंड वो शायद बहुत केसेस में होता भी है, क्योंकि मान लीजिए एक गांव में से फॉर एग्जांपल वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट वुमेन सेफ्टी के इश्यूज में कोई काम कर रहा है एक फेलो, बट एक डिफरेंट फेलो सेफ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर पे काम कर रहा है। सो दैट इज क्वाइट पॉसिबल, बट इट डजंट मीन कि आप लोग दोनों एक ही प्रोजेक्ट करोगे। यू हैव टू बी इन द सेम लोकेशन। एंड आई थिंक हाउ यू चूज द प्रोजेक्ट is again, there are two ways to choose it. One is wherein SBI in that way, I think, has been has designed the program very well. SBI Youth for India is a very well designed program, क्योंकि वो initial आपको 2 months मिलते हैं to go and experience the field, जहाँ पे आप रहोगे फील्ड पे। you'll interview a lot of community stakeholders, आप सरपंच से बात करोगे, आप community members से बात करोगे, आप अलग अलग लोगों से बात करोगे, आप वो सब बात करने के बाद आपको 2 महीने में एक रिपोर्ट बनाना पड़ता है saying कि what were the opinions of various stakeholders, what happened, etc., etc. And आपके वो 2 महीने के एक्सपीरियंस के बाद you then get to decide कि आपको वो सब एक्सपीरियंस मतलब वो सब लर्निंग्स के बाद क्या आप एक अपने हिसाब से एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाना चाहते हो, वो एक चॉइस है। या फिर क्या हो सकता है कि बहुत सारे एनजीओज कुछ कुछ लार्जर प्रोजेक्ट्स में काम कर रहे होते हैं, बिकॉज फंडिंग इज ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल, थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग ऑन द ग्राउंड ऑलरेडी। बट उस लार्जर प्रोजेक्ट में आप एक नया एंगल जोड़ सकते हो, तो वो भी पॉसिबल है कि आप एक एक लार्जर प्रोजेक्ट है जो वो कम्युनिटी में ऑलरेडी काम कर रहा है, वो डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स पे काम कर रहे हैं, बट आप उसमें एक नया एस्पेक्ट से सपोज एजुकेशन में it was already working, but you are thinking कि एक community library बनाना चाहिए, which was not there in the original plan, but you say कि ठीक है ये education program में मैं ये community library aspect add करना चाहता हूँ, तो in that way then you and the NGO kind of work together, क्योंकि वो एक larger program का part है, but your project is also kind of hinging on that larger. So it depends on you completely कि आप एक separate standalone, of course the NGO will help you in both, even the YFI team will help you in both, even if you want to make a standalone project or you want to hinge your project with a larger project but with your own specific element that you're adding ना। but तो ये दो टाइप के एवेन्यूज जनरली निकल के आते हैं फील्ड में, it's not always that, and मैं ये जनरली कहता हूँ कि it's not always necessary that you reinvent the wheel na? Sometimes just implementing something in a good way creates a much larger impact than um, reinventing the whole wheel itself na? So sometimes implementation focused projects also do lot of good things. You don't need to reinvent everything every time, तो आई थिंक हाँ, तो इन सब एवेन्यूज से आप अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स चूज कर सकते हैं, ये सब चीजें आप दिमाग में रख सकते हैं। बट या नो नो टू फेलोज, you can have like collective efforts to work in the same place, same village, but every fellow's project should be individual. That's the end point. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Anuba, for sharing that. Um, there's a question coming again and again about the recommendation. कि recommendation submit नहीं हो पा रहा है, क्या किया जाए? So to them, I would say you can delete your recommendation and you can rewrite it. It's not a problem. Now you can just go to the recommendations, you can delete it and then rewrite it. So I think that will help the people who are asking this question. Interview के लिए क्या prepare किया जाए? You just be honest with your intention. I think that should be the only answer to this. Anubhav was the sharing. Cheki, if you can. So how to
I just
prepare for this interview?
So just be honest. हम आपका कोई हम we don't want you to be someone जिसके पास बहुत ज़्यादा experience हो. आप fresher हो सकते हैं, आपके पास experience हो सकता है. You're most welcome to join us. As long as हमें लगता है, पता चलता है, and you kind of let us know through your answers, application and interview कि you're willing to work rural development. आप शहर में नहीं होंगे, आप गांव में काम करेंगे, not in your home state. आपको बिल्कुल ही किसी मुल्क के अलग कोने में भेज दिया जाएगा. लाइक आई एम फ्रॉम एक्सट्रीम नॉर्थ और मुझे बिल्कुल ही नॉर्थ ईस्ट भेज दिया था. आई वाज वर्किंग अलोंग इंडिया बांग्लादेश बॉर्डर. सो दैट इज दैट. देयर इज वन थिंग जो मैं क्लैरिफाई करना चाहती हूँ एज समवन हु सीज द एप्लीकेशंस इज दैट काफी लोगों का सवाल होता है कि परफेक्ट इंग्लिश इज इट रिक्वायर्ड. सो हमें परफेक्ट इंग्लिश नहीं चाहिए. आप एज लॉन्ग एज आप हमें बताते हैं, फिर चाहे आप हिंदी में बताएं क्योंकि आपके पास ऑप्शन होता है, आप हिंदी में अपनी एप्लीकेशन फिल कर सकते हैं. एंड समवन सेड मैंने टूटा फूटा इंग्लिश लिखा हुआ है. वी आर नॉट ऑनेस्टली बॉदर्ड बाय दैट एज लॉन्ग एज आप हमें बता पा रहे हैं कि आप कौन हैं और आप क्यों फेलोशिप करना चाहते हैं. वी आर हैप्पी टू कॉल यू टू द इंटरव्यू एंड उसमें वी कैन डिस्कस इट. इंग्लिश इज नॉट मैंडेटरी. येस इट वुड बी बेनिफिशियल बट दैट इज नॉट समथिंग वी जज ऑन. एक चीज है, इंग्लिश इज अ लैंग्वेज जो अर्बन यूथ फ्रॉम डिफरेंट स्टेट्स अक्रॉस इंडिया अंडरस्टैंड एज कंपेयर टू हिंदी, बट स्टिल प्लीज डू अप्लाई. आप इंग्लिश को ना समझें कि आपको रोकेगा ड्यूरिंग द एप्लीकेशन प्रोसेस, एज लॉन्ग एज अगेन रिपीटिंग यू लेट अस नो कि व्हाट आर यू जो आप फेलोशिप को दे रहे हैं एंड हाउ विल यू गेन फ्रॉम द फेलोशिप इन अ जेन्युइन वे. यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम टू अप्लाई.
Thank you so much, Uzza, for answering that. So there are many more questions. Most of these questions are frequently asked about how to fill the application. So you can also check out our FAQs on our website. For most of these questions, you can also write to us, and we'll be happy to help you. And we'll also be doing another live in very soon, and we'll announce that. Um, with another set of alumni, with another set of stories from the ground, that would help you definitely. Um, so there is a question: what should I include in my professional and academic reference? So, Anubhav, do you want to take this?
Yeah, I think प्रोफेशनल एंड एकेडमिक रेफरेंस टू बी ऑनेस्ट आप अगर आप recently graduate है तो you can ask one of your lecturers or your professors to write something about you, um, and see it genuinely, the YFI application process is designed in a way कि सिर्फ उसके like उसके basis पे ही आपको select करेंगे नहीं करेंगे ऐसा नहीं है, so don't worry too much about it. आप it's more like a vetting background check ना कि हाँ आप apply कर रहे हैं तो आपका आपका background check के लिए है वो. You can also have from professional setting आपके colleague हो सकते हैं, it may not necessarily, if you are from a professional setting, it may not necessarily be your manager, it may be your colleague, because sometimes हाँ वो हो सकता है कि कोई professional setting से apply कर रहा हो and he or she doesn't want their manager to know कि वो job छोड़ने का plan में हो या something ना, तो वो एक issue आ सकता है. So you can also ask your colleagues. It could also be people that are not like, suppose if you have worked in some place else before and you have had a good relationship with them in that organization before, you can also ask them. So it may not necessarily be your current ekdam, the most current sort of thing, because yeah, we do understand that for young graduates sometimes getting these recommendations and etc can be a little bit difficult. So yeah, there are variety of ways you can choose the right person.
Yes, thank you so much, Anubhav. There are questions. So, for persons with disabilities, I would like to tell you that so we are open to everyone. Anyone can apply. We are a inclusive fellowship. You can be from any part of the country, any speaking any language, be from any gender. Um if you are even you don't believe in gender binary, we are open for you as well. And for persons with disabilities, we are open. And but because the locations that the fellowship is offered in are remote places, so there are some limitations with stay and facilities and arrangements. So the decision lies with the candidate in those cases, that okay, do they want to go there or not, given their um, disabilities of different levels. So that is there. And there's a question: interview कब और कहाँ होगा? We'll let you know whenever you are moved to the interview stage. You will receive a communication from us, and you will get to know the interview locations as well. And it will not be in one place; it will be in multiple places, so that you don't have to travel too much for the interview. Um, so I think we are close to the end now. So so many people are wondering whether to take this leap and whether to apply for fellowship. So what would your recommendation be for anyone thinking of taking the leap? So is it worth it? Should they take a leap of faith and apply for this? And Is it worth it? What is your verdict, Anubhav, Uzda, and Cheki? If you can share
So I'll go
very
first on
quickly.
that. Even
Yes.
without taking a second to think about it, it is definitely worth it. भाई इससे बेहतर मौका नहीं मिलेगा काम करने का और इससे बेहतर मौका ये भी नहीं मिलेगा कि आप खुद को एक्सप्लोर करें. So as I mean, if you are hopeful, just apply for it. Just take this step. There's no words to describe it. At least for me.
Same for me too. Like I'll say, just like even right now, you may not be convinced what we have told you and all, but I would say try it out. After trying only, you know if it's worth it or not. For us, it's all good, and I'll say it will be definitely worth the experience. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Anubhav, do
I
you-
would definitely say it's like it's 100% worth it, you know, and it'll show you what actually the real problems are, what the real world is. Come out of your shells and cocoons and जाके देखो क्या क्या है, you know. So yeah, it's definitely it'll change your life.
Okay. Um, Thank you so much to all the speakers, Cheki, Anubhav, Uzda, for joining us today and sharing such heartfelt and honest stories and insights.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sumit, for carrying the webinar very well.
Applications. Yes. So to our audience, if the conversation resonated with you, please don't wait. The applications for 25-26 is closing soon. Is closing on 30th April. Please go and apply now. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and other social media to know more stories and updates and insights from the fellowship, and also keep following us for more such webinars that we'll be doing. Um, I think we can close this session today. And application deadline, again, I'm telling you, it's 30th April. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us, to all the audiences, to all the speakers. Um, Thank you so much.
And all the best to the applicants.
Thank you. All the best.